am Zyril H. Pluma and I would like to greet you all a pleasant afternoon. Today, we will be presenting to you our proposed study entitled Limited Face-to-Face Classes, Mitigating the Challenges in Online Classes, Supporting and Engaging the Isolated Learners. Together with my group mates, Miss Ashley Jane Balabag, Mr. Kedron Kent Hawood, Miss Mary Queen Kadungog, and Miss Ava Claire Solillo. Without further ado, we are going to start our presentation. Good day to our thesis advisor, Mr. Ernie A. Bonzo, to the panelists, Dr. Christine V. Percon, Miss Maria Laarni Venegas, and Mr. Jesse T. Oranio, and also to the chairperson, Dr. Aris M. Baldonado. I am Zyril H. Pluma, and I would like to greet you all a pleasant afternoon. In December 2019, an outbreak of novel coronavirus known as COVID-19 occurred in China and has spread rapidly across the globe within a few months. COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by a new strain of coronavirus that attacks the respiratory system according to World Health Organization. This event led to the loss of hundreds and thousands of lives on Earth, including children, adults, and older people. This pandemic has created a massive disruption of the educational system. It has forced the government to cancel national examinations and the schools to temporarily close and cease face-to-face instructions and strictly observe physical distancing. For COVID-19 can be easily acquired through droplets. That is why close contact with any person is not allowed, especially in public places, and this caused the shift of traditional learning into distance learning that need a lot of changes in terms of establishing new learning protocols and teaching protocols. These events have sparked the digital transformation of higher education and challenged its ability to respond promptly and effectively. However, the transition was smooth for some schools but rough for others, particularly those from developing countries with limited infrastructures. Developing countries had a hard time to cope with the changes. That's why challenges arises from one to another due to lack of adequate resources to respond to this so-called new normal.
E-learning tools have played a crucial role during this pandemic, helping schools and universities facilitate student learning during the closure of universities and schools, according to Sobedi et al. 2020, where they must adapt to the little face-to-face or no alternatives available. The most challenged distance learning involves the medical education during COVID-19. Due to little no face-to-face interaction and lack of medical tools and facilities during demonstration, training, and hospital duties, students find it difficult to apply what they learn in real-life situation. This study aims to determine the challenges in online classes, the extent of preparation of limited face-to-face, and factors that affect the engagement of the students to limited face-to-face classes. Let's now proceed to the statement of the problem. The problem is stated to have a clear and concise representation of the issue that is needed to be addressed. The researchers seek to find answers to the following questions. Number 1. What is the demographic profile of the respondents in terms of age, sex, and year level? Number 2. What is the extent of the implementation of online classes in preparation to limited face-to-face in terms of management and development of internet infrastructure, tools assimilating information, Or what are the tools is being used to inform students regarding to the resumption of limited face-to-face, reliable and interactive electronic resources, informations made available to users in digital forms and computer-based information, social networks to create communities for students, and use of interactive methods. Example are Zoom, Google Meet, and other teleconference or video call application used to disseminate information in an interactive way.
Number 3. What is the degree of effects of the factors affecting the engagement of the respondents to limited face-to-face classes in terms of face-to-face interaction, facilities during demonstration, training, and hospital duties? This SOP determines the factors affected by online classes that needs face-to-face interaction, and one of the reasons why students agree to the resumption of the limited face-to-face classes. In face-to-face classes or interaction, we can concentrate and communicate directly without any disruption, and we are able to learn directly also. While in the facilities during demonstration, we don't have this one in online settings, since each of the students have different environment and different facilities. With face-to-face, we are able to use the facilities in actual settings to improve our skills and knowledge. While in training and the hospital duties, doing both of this is hard when you do it virtually, as these things needs to be done in actual settings to do it right and appropriately.
Design. This study will use quantitative research design using descriptive approach in analyzing quantifiable measures. According to Selby 2019, this design offers a profile of described relevant aspects of an interest from individual. This design enabled the researchers gather data from a wide range of respondents from an area on how limited face-to-face can mitigate the challenges of online classes, supporting and engaging the isolated learners. For the research locale, this study will conducted in Nursing Department of St. Alexius College. St. Alexius College is located at Barangay Zone 4 City of Coronadal, South Cotabato. Respondents of the study. This study is conducted in St. Alexius College Nursing Department among 3rd year and 4th year, both female and male of the legal age that will be enrolled in 2nd semester 2021-2022.
In the sample technique of this study, the researchers will use purposive sampling technique in identifying the respondents. A purposive sample is a non-probability sample that is selected based on the characteristics of a population and the objective of the study. According to Crossman, this type of sampling can be very useful in situations when you need to reach a targeted sample quickly, and where the sampling for proportionality is not the main concern. For the research instrument of this study, researchers made research tool will be used in data gathering, wherein the researchers will use online surveying as a main tool in generating data from the respondents. Respondents will answer the questions of the online survey by filling out a form. The questions in the online survey are separated into 3 parts. The questions involved in part 1 is about the demographic profile of the respondents. The second part is about the extent of implementation of online classes in preparation to limited face-to-face classes. And the third and the final part of the survey are questions about the factors affecting the engagement of the respondents to limited face-to-face classes. In data gathering procedure, the study will commence in the sending of the survey link to all prospective randomly selected respondents during their vacant hours to avoid problem with their respective classes or schedules. Google Forms will be used and it will provide useful statistical presentation of data generated from the online survey. After data gathering, the researchers will collect the forms of tallying and applying the statistical treatment to be used with the study.
Statistical treatment. To statistically analyze the data, the researcher will use descriptive statistics such as frequency, percentage, and weighted mean. To determine the socio-demographic profile of the respondents, frequency and percentage will be used. To determine the effect of limited face-to-face in mitigating the challenge experienced in online class amidst a pandemic, weighted mean will be used. And determine the extent of implementation of online class in preparation to limited face-to-face in factors that affects the engagement of respondents to face-to-face classes, weighted mean is used. According to McDaniel 2016, the weighted mean may be used to evaluate trends in accounting, investing, grading, population, research, or other fields in which large quantities of numbers are gathered. And determine the extent of implementation of online class in preparation to limited face-to-face in factors that affects the engagement of respondents to face-to-face classes, weighted mean is used. According to McDaniel 2016, the weighted mean may be used to evaluate trends in accounting, investing, grading, population, research, or other fields in which large quantities of numbers are gathered. The ethical considerations as stipulated from the St. Aloysius College Code of Research Ethics as patterned from the Department of Health DOH and Department of Science and Technology DOST was used especially in the generation of informed consent, in the ethics behind the conduct of the test, and in employing an intervention program. According to American Psychological Association, researchers must adhere to a number of ethical guidelines, including meeting professionals, institutional, and governmental standards when doing research with human subjects, supervising students. They also teach in resolving authorship concerns, to mention a few. Here are recommendations APS Science Directorate gives to help researchers steer clear or ethical quandaries. First, obtain informed consent of each of the participants prior to the conduct of the research. Second, be conscious of multiple rules. APEs, ethics, code says psychologists should avoid relationships that could reasonably impair their professional performance or could exploit or harm others. Third, ensure that all the information gathered from the participants remain confidential together with their identities. Tap into ethics resources. One of the best ways researchers can avoid and resolve ethical dilemmas is to know both what their ethical obligations are and what resources are available to them. Willingness of the respondents to be involved in the study should be voluntary after fully knowing the purpose of the study. Privacy and confidentiality will be safeguarded after reviewing the measures to protect privacy and confidentiality of respondents' information. Respect for autonomy of individuals involved in the research should be given due importance, such as providing respondents with sufficient information to make an informed decision as to whether to take part in research. Lastly, it is expected that research is worthwhile and will have beneficial effects to the respondents, nursing students, higher education institution, and Commission of Higher Education. It should consider the quality and integrity in maximizing the chance of obtaining useful results after the conduct of the study. Results of the research should be effectively and appropriately